Friday, September 19th at 6. And catch the final episode of IGPX at 6:30.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys. We're not doing the final episode of IGPX at 6:30. We're not doing that. Right? But no, I would like to mention though that clearly this is Matt Marrero, by the way. This is Those Guys. Matt Marrero sitting.
And Tristan Walter.
Yeah, it's Tristan Walter. Not near me. He's actually spiritually he's near me, but physically he's far away, off in Long Island. But obviously there was a little error in the beginning, and what's funny is that error it's symbolic. It reflects Cooler's error. So everything is one. Everything is all in the same.
It was totally planned.
It was totally planned. And if you think it wasn't, then you're onto us. But anyway, so really good movie, right? Just first off, really good movie. I want to say you think it's your favorite out of all the films.
Do I have to answer that?
Yeah. Well, for the listeners who don't know us, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. This is my favorite movie. This is hands down my favorite DBZ movie.
This man does very terrible things to himself when he watches the movie. I refuse to watch it with him. It's just I don't feel comfortable around you when you
Matt,
watch it.
how would you know that? You've never watched this with me. How would you know what I do to myself when I watch this movie? Have you been spying on me? Does the truth come out here?
Listen, man, all right? I don't need to deny that. I'm just going to sit here. We're just going to talk about a DBZ movie, all right? Just let's not do this in front of the people. All right?
Why not? But, why can't we let it come out? Huh? What's stopping us? No. Anyway.
I'm really Cooler. No, just imagine that. Imagine if just two characters are just talking, and all of a sudden Vegeta's just like out of nowhere, Vegeta just screams, "I really like the color pink." Just finally gets it off his chest. Just finally, all right, just good for you, I guess. Right? But anyway, so Dragon Ball Z, Cooler's Revenge, also known in Japanese as The Incredible Mightiest versus Mightiest, because Toei enjoys subtlety. Or they actually made their own English title, which is actually really good, The Strongest Rivals. Yes, because obviously the first one that I just said is their Japanese, translated to English. But this one, they just thought, let's make our own, and that actually is a pretty damn cool title. But obviously America chose Cooler's Revenge. And, the movie originally came out in 1991, July 20th, at the Toei Anime Fair. Sadly, I'm unable to see what else came out with it, but it was probably some kiddie shit. Just like last time. Just like, it was probably something where it's just, and right after Dragon Ball Z, see lovely, lovely Dokudo-san. Just immediately comes out, just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And all the kids are like, yeah.
See, I would have loved it better if it was, in reverse. Like the kitty stuff is first.
No, I assume it usually is the reverse, though. Like, the kitty stuff gets them, all happy. All happy and relaxed, and then all of a sudden just, as the climax, Dragon Ball Z. I assume that's what they do. Yeah. I would hope.
That's better. Yeah.
Probably. I mean, how else would you do it, But anyway, so we have that. It came out in America January 22nd, 2002. So I want everyone to sit here and think, so 11 years, Matt. 11 years, guys. Just.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And it's funny because, I was around this, what?
Why you gotta drop the age bomb?
Yeah. Oh, man. And it's just insane because, they have a few things in here that I don't remember really being introduced to at the time. Like, okay, the movie opens up with Bardock, one of your favorite characters, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very interesting because it opens up with Bardock, and I think, I don't know if I thought, who is that? But at the same time, even though they did release Bardock, Father of Goku, around the same time, like Funimation did release it around the same time, I didn't purchase it. So I think the only time I knew who he was is through the TV show doing little tiny bits of foreshadowing. Like, because I know that the anime had little, the anime had very little kind of bits of like, oh, this guy I believe is Goku's dad. Little things like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, though, yeah.
When Frieza, in the anime at least, I believe we would have seen it at that point.
Yeah.
Frieza has a small flashback where you see, Bardock's face kind of overlay over Goku's, and he's like, "Oh, so you're his son." And it's like, that's who that is.
That's one. And then also, I believe the manga was coming out at the time in America because 2002. Actually, no, 2002. I was 10, so actually no. It was coming out, but I believe it was only at the Dragon Ball stages. So sadly, if you were a kid who just randomly saw Cooler's Revenge on Toonami, you thought, that guy looks like Goku. Who is that guy? Oh, Frieza killed him. Well, he's a good guy. Like, that's all. So, but for Japanese, it was really cool, I think, because, they show you the TV special, right? And then this gets aired in theaters, and it all connects, heck, they use the same exact clip from the end in a way that it's really cool in a weird way, where it's like the universe is expanding.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was like the only movie that me and you agreed on that would actually kind of fit in the canon.
It's actually it's very interesting because it could fit. It's weird. It could fit, yes. After, from the way it looks like, if it was during the 3-year gap, because I believe technically during the 3-year gap between the training with, for the androids, everyone was off doing their own thing anyway.
Right.
Vegeta was training in space. Goku. Well, actually, wait a minute. Well, yes, there was
Goku
a gap when he came
been
back.
yet.
Yeah. Well, no. But the thing is, though, is that let's clarify. No, he did come back. There was a gap between training. So if they decided to just take the day off or something, there were people around. No, if they decided to take the day off and just go camping, that could actually fit somehow. Yeah. But it's very funny because it's just is that. There were just a few things in this movie that I enjoyed, but I understand that we have to make the movie last longer, right? It would be silly if he just immediately became Super Saiyan and then killed a bunch of guys, right? That would be. But at the same time, though, it becomes an issue when you give him that power, and then immediately when he is able to access it, he can destroy the guy. Even though it's understandable, it would have been nice if there was a little bit of struggle between Super Saiyan, Goku, and Cooler.
Yeah, I would have probably liked to see that too.
Yeah, mind you, it was great. He completely destroyed. To use the internet slang, he pwned him. He. There was no doubt about it. But the problem is that it took him so long, and in a way, they had to incapacitate him during the film to have it make sense at all.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I would like to add, if anyone wants to call in and talk about this film, please do. The number is 718-664-9468. The number again being 718-664-9468. We usually wait until half an hour, but honestly, with the way this film, we're talking about a bunch of different things, and you've already seen the film, so you obviously know what's coming. Call anytime you like. The number again is 718-664-9468. Definitely call in. We would love to hear from you because, it's a really good film. And, hey, if you even hate the film, definitely call in. I don't know if I can control Tristan, but I would love to hear what you have to say.
I may, in fact, try and kill you through the phone.
He may, in fact, immediately just go, imagine this, immediately you're just sitting there, I don't like the movie. Come with me if you want to die. Like, what? Just all of a sudden we just hear Terminator music in the background. I was like, all right, Tristan just became Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know when, but
oh, God.
You do not like cooler.
Stand up on end, but
yeah, right. No, just Super Saiyan Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's the scariest thing in the world. But anyway, so jumping back to the film, though. I think the gap is really jumping back to the whole issue of the gaps and how it aired. It's very interesting. I actually didn't see it live, aired. My father actually bought the DVD for me. I believe he bought it with Lord Slug, which we did about 2 weeks ago, show-wise. Yeah. And it's just very interesting how I felt as if I was getting the cool, the new thing, because I saw it before they actually aired it. So this Toonami promo, while being amazing, wasn't something that I saw. I think when it came live, I thought, I already saw it.
Yeah.
But hell, I mean, it even aired. It aired on Saturday.
Yeah, I was
Adult
just about
Swim.
to say. Yeah, they actually played it on Toonami.
I don't know why.
Last week. No, I don't know why either. But honestly, I don't care. I wish I could have been there to see it.
Yeah.
Even though I've seen it a million times.
It's very interesting how they try to put things on late night so that they can think, oh, the adults will watch it and we can get past the censors. But then there are people who work late night who are our age. So it's very interesting how it's just we're trying to get the viewers in, but at the same time we can't because people have jobs.
Oh, I was so pissed. I was like, it's not even like I wanted to see it for the movie. I mean, I did, but it was more of I wanted to see it because it was on Toonami. I just wanted to have that feeling. That feeling again. It's like I'm watching Dragon Ball Z on Toonami again.
Well, hey, I mean, for anyone who's listening and who hasn't heard the news, they will be airing the remainder of Dragon Ball Kai or Dragon Ball Z Kai, depending on your region. Dragon Ball Z Kai on Toonami. Which
I heard about that.
Which is an amazing thing. You know, because if you think about it, it's just hey, that's some pretty because. I mean, I would like it to still air on Nicktoons because I do want there to be a wider net, or at the very least on earlier on Cartoon Network, because I do want the net. Because the thing is, let's be honest, this is a show for children. We enjoy it because we enjoyed it while we were children, and certain shows for children though are so good that they can kind of transcend, the age limit, sort of the age gap or whatever. But still, this is a show for children. And I would like the edited versions to be aired earlier, and then we get the cool late night.
Yeah.
Because they used to do that. They actually used to do that with a lot of shows. They even used to do that with, I believe, with Dragon Ball Z back in the day. There were many shows that were aired, uncut during the block, and then earlier on during the day they would just air the, hell, they had the midnight run. That's basically what it was. That's what it was called. But jumping back into the film, I would like to note that Goku is some kind of being related to either Jesus or Moses, with his ability to just separate water. I would like that to be just Goku. Just honestly, I was waiting for him to say something like "Let my people go." I was really wondering where this was headed.
Well, was that more of because Goku was doing it, or was that more of because Cooler punched him through the bottom of the lake and he
No, not that. No, you misunderstand. Not that part. I mean with the Kamehameha.
Oh, in the beginning, okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
and Master Roshi just sits there.
Jesus.
And Master Roshi sits there amazed, but not frightened, only amazed.
Well, yeah, I mean, he trained him. I mean...
Yeah, I guess so. But still, it's just one of those things where it's just, Master Roshi, that's why I hate that he's written as a pervert, because he's a really great guy. He hasn't tried once, from what we've seen, to kill Goku in his sleep.
Why would he do that?
Lex Luthor tries to kill Superman on a daily basis thinking, what if he turns evil? What if he turns evil? Master Roshi trained him and then blinked, and in the blink of an eye, he saw him go from, I'm a little kid with no powers, to, I can sneeze and blow up a quadrant.
Oh, okay, I see.
That's some scary stuff to have to deal with. So, kudos to you, Master Roshi, for not trying to kill Goku in his sleep.
Well, I mean, I think he even says, I don't know if it was in the manga, but I remember a line Master Roshi says in the anime when Goku was fighting Frieza. They have a shortcut to, everybody back on Earth, saying, why is Goku staying on the planet when they, he could have just come back with everybody else, or when his power awakens. I don't remember how, but Master Roshi's. He's troubled by it. Like, yes, Goku, but Oolong, looks at him and says, well, why would this be a bad thing? He has the power to beat the bad guy. This is great. And he goes, I'm not so sure about that because this is a power that he's never, had any experience with before. Yeah. This is the kind of power that can, do things to people.
Interesting. That was anime only. But I was worried you were going to bring up the fact that it's like, why isn't Goku coming back on Earth? I know why. It's because there's one person on Earth who Goku fears the most.
his wife. No, I wasn't going to go into that, but okay.
Yeah, and that's his wife. Immediately, Chi-Chi comes out with a freaking battle axe.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
That was great. That was there's a few little there's an Easter egg in this film. I don't know if you noticed it. In the background of Gohan's room while he's studying, there's actually a Dr. Slump poster.
Yeah, it's a Rayleigh, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I did see that on the wall.
Which is amazing because if any of you don't know, right, and it's fine if you don't. If any of you don't know, Akira Toriyama actually had a full series, like a 19-volume, or I believe it was 18-volume series, of something called Dr. Slump, right?
Yeah.
And it was a nice little quaint town with this, he was kind of a mad scientist, but he's also an idiot. So, he's really bad at inventing, and he makes this little girl robot who is, has to be like a daughter, and she's just so kind of aloof and naive, a bit like Goku. And, his art also kind of bleeds over where you'll see some characters and you think, Yamcha? Is that you, Yamcha?
Yeah.
And it isn't. Or is that you, Bulma? But it isn't. And they've even had a few crossovers here and then. I remember during the Red Ribbon Saga, Goku actually visited the
with
town.
Dragon Ball. Yeah, they did.
Yes.
Where they end up in this, like, oh, where are we? And it's Penguin Village.
Yes, and they've made that into a special, actually, in recent years. They've made that into a full animated special. And, so sadly they've never really made Dr. Slump into anything, at least I think other than maybe an OVA or something. But definitely check it out. Viz still has them, I believe, in stock. I need to actually finish that series up myself. But from what I've seen, it's just a wonderful series. It's just it's awesome. And so, basically, little tiny reference right there, and I just thought, that's interesting. Just the things that you don't notice when you're 5.
Yeah.
It's the little things.
But that's probably, I don't know if they, threw that in with thinking the kids would get it, but...
well, no, I think it was for the adults at the time, or at least the teenagers at the time, because I think about it, the kids at the time would be 5, and... I mean, technically being 5 in 1992, it's like the Slump did come out in the 80s, but I still believe that it was made for the people who are really big fans
the
of
older audience.
Toriyama, who were in theaters at the time, which is crazy to think. Imagine in 1991. What?
No, I'm just saying I'm glad they think of that kind of thing,
Oh, of course. But, I mean, think about that, though. That's crazy. It's just a crazy thought. We're in 2014 right now. People were in theaters getting references from past works in 1991. Who are thinking, we're older, and we're getting this because we're older. Man, this fandom has grown. Whew.
Yep.
But so that was one thing. And something that I really noticed that I think, I just find this really funny. Before this I was thinking of something else. Goku wants Gohan to finish his homework. The conclusion, this man is severely ill. That's the conclusion. Really?
I mean, sure, Chi-Chi even states, he's never cared whether you finished your homework or not, but, you couldn't have given him the benefit of the doubt saying, wow, maybe he's actually, investing in our child's future as much as I am now. Maybe he's really growing. No, that's not a possibility whatsoever.
Immediately, he's a professional wrestler. Immediately, it's just too many shots to the head. We need to get him out. We need to make him stop doing this. He needs to retire or whatever the hell. There's all this stuff, and then all of a sudden it's just, oh, hey, Gohan, we got to go camping. Which, by the way, this quote, I really enjoyed it because, it's like, well, what's more important, Goku? This or this? And Goku says, camping, of course.
Camping, of course.
I feel like that's something you would say, Tristan.
Fuck yeah. Of course I would.
What's more important, camping or someone's education? Camping, of course.
Camping.
That's why I think you like this movie so much.
Learn a hell of a lot more from camping.
And you don't have to pay as much for it, right? But seriously though, I do feel as if that's why you like this movie so much. Just the fact that they were camping the entire time.
Yeah, I mean that was probably one of the parts that I loved about it, but
the only thing, the fights weren't even that impressive to you. You just thought, well, camping, I'm sold.
Oh yeah, I mean, any of the movies with camping in it, I just immediately love.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
of course.
that's all I watched them for. I just turned it off after they're, done with the camping scene. I don't even watch the rest of the movie. When I did the podcast, The Tree of Might with you, I just bullshitted the rest of that. I'd never even seen it before.
That sounds about right. You seemed a bit off that day. That sounded about right. So let's see how you can bullshit your way through this. Let's see how you can bullshit your way through this. But
what are you going to give me trivia now?
No, I'm going to give you false information and then have you believe it.
Oh, God damn it.
It was so cool when Broly appeared. Yeah, I was surprised about that, too. I guess they were foreshadowing future films.
Okay, now I know you're lying.
Yeah, right? But seriously, though, one thing, well, not even seriously. Why are we even trying to act as if we're being serious here? Their armor, Cooler's, his troops, their armor, I felt as if it was just so backwards and stuff, as if to be different and cool. Like just, hey, look, guys, we're so cool. Look at the way our armor is.
Yeah.
Because you noticed that it kind of, when you saw the front, you realized it wasn't backwards, but when you saw them from behind, it looked as if they just turned their suits backwards and called it a day. Just,
The first thing I would have gone for was, the purple spandex Speedos, but, whatever works for you.
Yeah, right. No, it's the armor, man, because it's like Saiyan armor. It's like Saiyan armor, except not, because we're so cool and different, guys.
No way.
We're so hip. Speaking
Saiyan
of
armor, you're kidding me. No way.
Yeah. Speaking of his his ragtag, group of jolly men. I really love them because obviously of who they were referencing, and it's pretty obvious who they were referencing. But but if anyone doesn't know, they were called his Cooler's Armored Squadron. Now, why is squadron an important word? Actually, squadron is the direct translation of the word Sentai. Yep. In Japan, there's a show called Super Sentai. That show got adapted in America into the show Power Rangers. Yep. So it's really interesting how, it's funny because it's like, imagine if Power Rangers never worked, right? Like, imagine if the show never even got off the map, right? This would have seemed funny, this scene, but it would have seemed so weird.
Yeah.
Even the Ginyu Force, well, they were funny, they were just so weird. Like, it never, it was just, but now that somehow
it never would have hit you, I guess, yeah.
No, but now, it's the same thing with the Great Sandman.
Yeah.
It never hit you. Because yes, you got Power Rangers, but you don't know about Kamen Rider because they've only done 2 different adaptations of Kamen Rider in America.
Right.
But had you known about Kamen Rider, you would have seen that, and it's only a quick blurb about the Great Sandman. The fact that in the original Kamen Rider, right, they had eventually the main actor got injured in real life on set in a motorcycle thing. So they replaced him with he was doing his own stunts at the time. They replaced him with a different actor, but not as the same character. He came on to be Kamen Rider 2.
Right.
And now Kamen Rider is Ichigo and Nigo, right? And then you have the Great Sandman come on, right? And then all of a sudden in that one film when you had Videl being the second Great Sandman, I don't remember what it was in the English dub, but I remember in the Japanese dub it's Great Sandman, Ichigo, and Nigo, because it's Great Sandman 1 and 2.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing, I believe.
Yes, which is hilarious because also the fact that the second because it's funny because the second Kamen Rider back in the day, right, Kamen Rider 2, he was very strong and tough. His move set was very, he would kind of just grapple you, tackle you to the ground, and just start punching you in the face, right?
Right.
That role is played by Videl.
Yep.
Yeah, just the little things here and there.
We know who wears the pants in this relationship. That's
what I think. I'm sure the internet exploded when that came out. Wherever the internet was at the time, I'm sure it exploded. But anyway, so point is that little references like that wouldn't have been gotten. So thank you, Saban, for bringing over Power Rangers and even bringing over Dragon Ball Z originally. Because I don't know if anyone doesn't know, Saban was originally behind Dragon Ball Z. And then it kind of yes. So it's kind of it's very interesting how it had these references to Power Rangers, Power Rangers in the States. And we didn't even realize it. And then when we're watching it, it's just like, we're Cooler's Armored Squadron. And you're like, you guys are, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love the lead up, like before they actually run into them camping, like
right.
before the squadron even appears.
Yes.
Because in this movie, they actually sense something wrong. And it's nearby, you know, it's not out in space, it's not like, you know, like in the the earlier movies, you know, usually there's a group of guys and they sneak up behind them and they beat the crap out of them. No, they sense them coming this time. I was so happy.
Oh,
yes. They
Quite
don't even
true.
like, you know, they don't see them. They just hear like the grass ruffle, you know, a pebble fall into the lake, you know, the leaves in the tree, you know, go the other way, and they're just like, wait a minute, what was that?
Well, it shows that they're getting stronger.
You know, that's true. Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way too.
Yeah, and but it's and you know, and I enjoyed that. I mean, I enjoyed what I didn't enjoy. Speaking of the movie's just premise, I actually, while I liked the universe is expanding, I didn't enjoy that it's like, okay, with things that are quote unquote filler, they're in a way rewriting history. Where it's just like, you know, it's just the original manga and the original intent of the story was, hey, Goku, you know, escaped, thankfully. Now it's just, he escaped because Cooler let him.
Oh.
It's like,
I guess. I mean.
Well, no, here's the thing. The same thing happened in recent Spider-Man comics where they actually, you know, something crazy happened, and I'm not going to go into all the crazy stuff that happened, but thankfully Peter has his body back. Right? That's how I'll start this off with. Peter Parker has his body back, right? And they start off the new series, Amazing Spider-Man, you know, started off from issue 1 again. Peter has his body back, but when they started off, though, they actually have a flashback back to, like, the original, like, when he got bit by the spider. And so they show him getting bit by the spider again randomly, redrawn. So it's not like it's an old clip. It's like redrawn and everything, right? So it's like, oh, it bit him. Okay, that's crazy. The spider fell. Wait, why is it walking up to that girl? Oh, my God, there's another.
Oh.
Right? So that's a cool thing to have in a weird way where it's like, whoa, there's another, whoa, like, who's she going to be? Whoa. But then you realize they just kind of rewrote history.
Yeah, I guess.
That's how I feel, where it's just like, and especially when, I'm not saying that all new comics are filler or, you know, whatever, but obviously they're written by the, you know, different people than who, you know, whoever wrote the originals. Meaning the same thing with this, where it's just, it's being written by someone different who's actually the same person, Makao Koyama, who actually wrote the other movies.
Right.
You know? Yes. Takao Koyama, who actually wrote the first 4 films, which is very interesting how they just get him to write all the movies, but from the looks of it, nothing else. But yes, so in other words, they get someone else in to write it, but it's just, you know, I know Toriyama has to really approve everything, so he approved it, but it's still very interesting how it's just, you know, now it's just, it isn't that Goku managed to escape luckily. Cooler's the one who did it. If he had done his damn job better.
Well, that's the thing. Cooler points out that it's not his job. He says it could have even been, you know, King Vegeta on that spaceship for all he knows.
That is true.
You know, he was poking fun at his brother the entire time, saying how, you know, such an annoying bitch he was.
Which
and
I have
honestly,
to say is the most, I'm sorry to interrupt, is the most accurate representation of a brother-brother relationship.
I know,
ever.
That's why I loved Cooler so much, because he's like, my little brother is such a fucking prick. And then, you know, everybody makes the jokes about Frieza going, oh, my brother is such a prick, you know.
No, what's hilarious is you have Cooler saying that, right? It's like, oh, my little brother is such a little bitch. And you're like, come on, he's your little brother. I am Frieza. All right, I kind of see your point, Cooler. I am Frieza, Lord of all. I rule over everything with a pink iron fist. Yeah, Cooler, I kind of see where you're going here.
Coming from, yeah.
I kind of see.
That's why I kind of liked Cooler as a villain in this, because
I admit that, yes.
You got to see, like, it wasn't just, hey, he pops out of space. Hey, it's Cooler's brother. It's Frieza's brother. Oh, my God, he just popped out of space. I'm going to kill Goku because I fucking feel like it. Okay. No, he actually, I don't know, I felt like they seeded him into the story a bit more.
Yes, yes.
Like, I feel like they didn't just pull this one out of their ass. This one feels like it could have actually been true if, Akira Toriyama had wished it.
No, I agree. Though something very funny, I think you may have just been caught up in the child hype, though. You may have just, as a child, you may have been caught up in the hype, and you're keeping it because of nostalgia. Because you're sitting here and thinking, yeah, man, Frieza's brother, he's so much cooler than him. Fuck. So maybe that's what happened. No, but all jokes aside, though, I do like their motif. Their motif is hilarious, where in Japanese, Frieza was actually a bit like Freezer, like kind of like that. It was like Frieza. So they retained it, but it's meant to be like a freezer, like, in your fridge, and then cooler is meant to be like, like a cooler. And then I love just their dad, who's just King Cold, as if it's like, I'm king of the cold, like, you are nothing, right? It's kind of, I love their family dynamic. I have to say.
Less of the names. Personally, I like Cooler's character.
Yes,
because a lot of people say the movie villains are just, rip-offs of what, happened in the series. And to a degree, that can be true, yes.
Right.
It's, apparent in a lot of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Cooler had enough of his own personality where I could like him as his own character.
Right.
Like, even just from the few lines that he says in the movie. When he's stopping Salza from, firing at Goku's space pod, he's like, let my brother clean up his own mess. I've got 7 other planets to destroy by the end of the day. I can't be responsible for his ass.
Yeah. Actually,
even when they go to the one where he's on the barren planet, and, they say, oh, my God, somebody's killed Lord Frieza. Really?
And,
and I don't care that he's dead, but I do care that he's disgraced our family name. Now I have to go and kill whoever killed him.
Yeah. What I will say, though, is that Funimation, as great as they are, by the way, would love to have a job with you guys. Love you guys. Ball was a bit dropped, though. Ball was dropped in terms of the voice, because I understand why. Okay, so in Japan, they use the same voice actor for both of them, which is really cool. And he did a different voice, but it's the same voice actor. The problem in America, in my opinion, where, yes, obviously you have to use a different voice actor, because Frieza's voice actor at the time was actually the voice actress.
Yeah.
The same one who did Genkai at the time in Yu Yu Hakusho. But so I understand.
Oh, God, that was a creepy realization.
Oh, yeah, that really was creepy at the time. And I was like, who is that? Who is that? Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
But anyway, but seriously, though, so I feel as if, it's like, yes, it was so, you have to get someone a bit different, I understand, but I wanted it to sound more regal. We needed someone who sounded a bit more like royalty. I'm not saying Cooler's voice didn't sound amazing. Again, Cooler's voice sounded, it actually sounded a bit cold.
Like you were saying about Vegeta, too.
Yes.
You were saying.
Yes. Again,
you wanted a more regal voice because they're a royal family, basically.
Yeah.
Which, makes sense.
And I'll say it one more time, and I mean this all puns aside. His voice did sound cold. It did sound chilling. It was a good voice. I like the voice actor behind it. However, I just have to say that, again, it needed to be a bit more, regal. And, the voice actor behind his voice has done a lot of work for Funimation once I actually find out who you are. Oh, what's very interesting is that people have said his voice is a bit like Hugo Weaving, who worked on the Matrix films, Mr. Anderson. Which is very interesting. But anyway, his voice is actually Andrew Chandler, who has not only done the narrator in GT, but who has also been Byakko and Bakken in Yu Yu Hakusho.
Right, Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah.
Also, he was Yama and Big Pan from One Piece.
I did notice that.
And to top it all off, he was bald in Full Metal Alchemist, who's very important when you remember how he looks like.
Right.
When you remember who he is, you'll realize that guy was important. Yeah. And before we jump back to the film, I want to mention, speaking of voice actors, Salza, right, who is the one who many of you thought was the random French guy, was actually in real life a random French guy. He only worked on one Funimation film, right? But in France, he's actually a director and an actor. So in France, he has done a lot. And you probably do know his name, Michael Marco. you probably do know his name. But in relation to Dragon Ball Z, you probably don't. And it's very interesting. I looked him up on IMDb, and you see pictures of him from all different kinds of, live-action stuff. And then you see a picture of Salza. And you're deeply confused.
And you just go, wait, what?
But he was so great. As a kid, I loved his voice. He was just beautiful. Just because everything he said, it dripped off of him. Like you felt as if you waited to hear every little word he said. Where it's just where it's like, is that Frieza? You stupid imbecile! That isn't Frieza. That is his brother, Lord Cooler. Like every little thing, you were just like, I want to hear more.
The most fighter in the universe. Soon you will be at mercy. What mercy?
Just like that. Just like that. It was just beautiful. You did it better than me. Good job there. High five.
Okay.
Oh my God. But we actually have to do this movie. We have 24 minutes left. We have to actually talk about movies and stuff. What are we doing here? This movie had amazing fight scenes. I can't even choose a favorite. Can we agree on that? Okay.
Yes. Yes. More yes.
But yes. Speaking of Goku being incapacitated for the film, again, we mentioned it a bit before. It has happened before, but it is a bit interesting because it hasn't happened it hasn't happened in the majority of the DBZ films, up to this point. So it's kind of new, So it's kind of new in a way because it hasn't been overplayed yet. But the problem again comes with it being an issue where if he had the power to turn Super Saiyan immediately, it becomes an issue. So they really need to do something with these powers in a way where it's just, no, they brought down something that suppresses my power level. Something weird like that.
Yeah. I feel like they were, this is where the movies, tie into reflecting the series. I feel like they were playing off the fact that Goku really hasn't gotten control of it yet. He can't really do it willingly. It would have just been a nice forth. I agree. I felt the same way, but it would have been a nice reference. It would have been nice to reference it in the act, just a throwaway line. Yeah, you're right.
And also this movie actually had some scary scenes. You really did feel like there was a chance that some of these characters could actually get hurt, not die, but could actually get hurt. And
shit, when he blew up Piccolo.
Yeah, and I do have to say though
that the look on Goku's face was the look on my face too, because I was like, oh crap, they're gonna lose the Dragon Balls again, aren't they?
And I also have to say that it's true. No, it's true. And I also have to say that it's a weird feeling though that we didn't have people like Piccolo or even come there sooner, or even have Yamcha at all. I understand that I believe Yamcha. No, it may have been something where Yamcha may have been dead at the time, but sorry, Tien and Chaozu were dead, right?
Yeah.
Because although there is the gap, so technically I think with the gap, I think everyone was alive training for 3 years.
Yeah.
So if this is for the gap, then everyone should be there. Even if it was for some reason, let's say Goku's on Earth, but everyone else is dead because filler, right? Then Yamcha would still be alive. So we had no Yamcha, which it kind of made me upset, where it's just, could you guys not just fit them in just for the sake of getting beaten up? I would have taken that. I would have liked that.
Yeah.
This is because the thing is they try to make these events very, large and cataclysmic. And when these happen and there's no other Z fighters around, it becomes a problem.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Why didn't they even, show up to see what was going on? Not that they would have really helped out in any way, unfortunately.
I'm wondering if maybe there was a point where maybe during production they thought that Cooler would maybe have some more men or some little tiny things here and there to try and throw out that they could fight in other areas maybe without being really involved, but sadly that never happened. Jumping back to the Sentai for a bit, just for a split second, it's kind of funny because there have actually been 3-man teams before in Sentai, not so much in Power Rangers, because in Power Rangers they usually stick with because the newer format is usually 5 people in Sentai, the newer format. So Power Rangers adapted it when they had that 5-person format. But back in the day, they've actually had a few teams, or a few scenes here and there where they've only worked with 3 people.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting how they kind of reflected that. It's literally the show they can only actually think of in Sentai that had 3 people was the Taiyo Sentai Sun Vulcan, the Solar, the Sun Squadron Sun Vulcan, which is funny because 3-man team, they did some kind of crazy poses as well, most do, and then here they are reflecting them, and they also and Sun Vulcan also came out in the 80s, by the way. So if they wanted to reference anything at the time, they were probably referencing Sun Vulcan from the 80s, which was only a few years prior at the time. Trivia. But anyway, moving forward. We don't have this kind of time. I loved the songs. The score for the English version.
Yeah.
Of course, I love the Japanese version. Of course.
I was waiting for this.
But the English version is amazing. I mean, we have songs that I'm a fan of now that I didn't realize I was a fan of at the time. The Game by Disturbed, Change by Deftones, among many others.
Yeah,
I mean,
Breaking Point,
beautiful.
Drowning Pool, American Pearl.
Oh yeah.
I've listened to other songs by American Pearl and Breaking Point. Holy fuck, they're good.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. It's just it's my opinion that their taste, at least for the specific songs, kind of diminished in later movies. But this was the perfect mix.
Yeah.
Of
exactly.
It didn't make
this
things
one
feel awkward.
Right.
Yeah. I think the only one that I felt a bit weird, like it was kind of just ham-fisted, like just thrown in there really to be was when Gohan was flying with Icarus.
Yeah,
like that's
that
the
was,
one time where it could have not been there, the only one. But every other one was just so powerful. Though it's funny how the game got edited. Because usually, because it's great. Because they'll curse and everything in the game. And I hate to use that word, but that phrase. But yeah, in the song, the game, they'll curse a lot and stuff. And they'll say like bitch or whatever. And you can see how it got edited out. In a weird way, where it became instrumental only for certain parts where they were throwing out random curses, and I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, and by the way, speaking of scary scenes, just some of the death scenes were a bit horrific. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, the first one to go down,
Dore?
Cooler's men. He just completely obliterated.
I'm just speaking of the specific men, though. Like, I believe, Dore, which is the one that had the retractable head, who is voiced over by Mike McFarland. Mike McFarland, who does the voices of Yajirobe and Master Roshi. Yeah. And that was just terrifying.
Oh, God, I love that so much. Is it weird that I laughed more at that scene when I saw it? Because in a weird way, I understand. He's just speaking out of his ass the entire time, looking at Piccolo like, deep right now, like, you must feel so stupid right now. Just the look on Piccolo's face. Oh, my God, that was so beautiful.
One thing I want to mention.
He turns his head a little bit and smirks and just grabs onto him and shocks him to death. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, it was. But speaking of, remember when Salza destroyed the bag of sensu beans?
Oh,
and Krillin goes, You ruined everything! And I'm sitting there thinking, it's okay, Krillin. We always blame the French for shit, too. It's okay. Like, it's not just you, Krillin. It's not just you. It's okay.
I thought that was a really...
It was. No, continue.
I thought that was a great twist, too, because, everybody... they always rely on the sensu beans, and it's like, when they get the sensu beans, it's like, okay, everything's going to be okay now. We're going to be fine. You're going to eat this, and you're going to... Oh, God, it's gone.
Yeah, this was definitely written to screw with us, which is great, by the way, because you need that more.
Yeah.
Speaking of twists that sadly never, some twists that sadly never were, it couldn't be the pig, could it? I was really hoping for Super Oolong. But alas, dreams are just that. It's just, I was a bit upset. Sadly, no Super Oolong, but...
it was funny. As a kid, it took me a while to actually understand what he was saying during that line, because when I was a kid, I couldn't hear it, and I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, I agree.
And then when I finally heard it and I got it, oh, God, I died.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of the songs they used, I loved how the game was muffled when they went underwater. Yeah, that was a great effect. I was like, oh, that's it. Like, as if they're saying, that music is the shit, isn't it? Yeah, I love it. Like, as if they're hearing it while they're fighting. Just like, yep. Well, I think they even did that in the opening a little bit, too, which that was amazing, too. I love the black and white effect, too.
Like when they're doing the flashback, it's everything's overshaded in that dark and yellow type color.
I really
and then when the explosion actually happens, the color comes back in, and then there's the movie title, boom. I thought that was the best opening ever.
Most definitely. Also, speaking of you know how we mentioned through these past few movies that there's a lot of environmental references. I would like to mention that Cooler making a hole in the earth where water was flowing into is probably not good for the environment. I'm not. I don't work for anyone that works to help to better the environment, but I'm pretty sure that's bad.
Yeah, rapid redirection of water flow is usually never a good thing.
But Cooler did do a really good thing, a really cool thing. He went straight through Goku's Kamehameha.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm just saying.
When I was a kid, yeah, that scared the ever-living shit out of me.
Oh yeah.
Like as soon as he did, like he didn't even deflect it or like take it and be like, no, I'm fine. No, he goes through the fucking thing, and it was just like, oh dear God, we're all going to fucking die.
So good. It's so good that I'm pretty sure that has been translated to the video games, right? Where you can do that in the video games, I believe. Am I right or am I wrong? Where you can actually reverse it?
I actually don't know. I really haven't kept up with like the more recent ones.
Okay. No, because I know you can obviously reverse or you can have struggles. I know you can have reverse and you can have struggles, but I'm wondering if you could actually freaking go through it.
That I don't know of.
Oh, that makes me sad. I wish you. Yeah. Hey, you're making more video games? How about you do that, huh? Shall we?
Yeah.
But anyway. But also the scene where Goku turns Super Saiyan is probably I might have to rewatch the series, but as I remember currently, my favorite Super Saiyan scene, transformation scene.
Yeah.
It's the music, and I think it's just everything surrounding it.
Yeah.
But how would you feel? I know you were saying how it was just a great scene, because I know you've talked about it. You talked about the music during this movie. So what did you think about the scene?
Yeah, I thought it was amazing, and I thought, putting the music worked perfectly, and I don't know, it was just the fact, like, you don't even see him, like, yell or his eyes go back or anything. It goes out to, like, the outlying wasteland that is around now, and you just hear the scream in the background, and you sort of see the pebbles, like, rise up a little bit and then fall back down. And then it goes back to Cooler, and he looks down and he goes, wait a minute, he's different. He's changed. And then you just get the close-up of him, and he looks up. Oh, God, that scene just chills even today.
It's so iconic, I think, that whenever people do these, these fan-made Super Saiyan scenes, the pebbles, it's always the pebbles.
Yeah, it's always the pebbles.
Yeah, it is. And speaking of Cooler, we mentioned before how, Cooler, his voice, but I would like to say that whoever wrote for him was perfect. His monologues were amazing. He was everything he needed to be and more.
Yeah.
The fact that he was just so much, I am better than you, in a way that actually, in my opinion, trumped Frieza's.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like Frieza was just not to bring this to a dark place or anything, but Frieza always just played the racism card.
Yeah, always.
Like every time, he's like, "You're such a dirty monkey. You can't beat me." It's like,
whoa! Immediately, black people are offended. He's like, no, I love African American people. I just don't like these monkeys. What are you trying to? No, I'm not calling you monkeys. I'm not calling a subset of your race monkeys. I'm just talking about the monkeys that are Saiyans. Why can't I just be racist to others?
No, I'm going to kill you all equally. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. Just immediately he goes, you know what? That's it. I'm going to kill all of you equally. As if that makes it any better. Just, well, you know what? At least he's a stand-up guy now. He's going to murder all of us.
He's going to murder all of us equally. I know Cooler played it. I think he may have said, to the monkey line maybe once or twice. Frieza couldn't stop saying it every freaking time Goku landed a punch.
Exactly. Just punch in the face. I have to admit, that was a really good punch. Thank you, Frieza, you damned dirty monkey. Really? Even in the compliment?
Really?
I'm complimenting you, you monkey.
Yeah.
I'm complimenting you, monkey. Like as if that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Cooler even looked at it like Goku was a threat. Like, I mean, yes, he killed his brother, and he's like, oh, this one knows how to fight. Impressive. But he actually took it seriously. Like,
well, not
even
at
when
first,
Goku was,
but eventually. Well, actually, you know what? No, fair enough. He took it seriously enough to use it. He thought he was weak. Yeah.
It was after Cooler transformed. Then he thought, well, he can't beat me now.
Right.
And he's
no, but you're correct.
This is the power of the Super Saiyan.
Yes.
Because at the beginning, Cooler was probably holding back a little bit, although
but not
he was
too much, though. I think.
No, he was in his technical, third form, which is supposed to be the final one, which I also thought was cool.
Oh yeah.
Cooler's not a dick about it. If he's going to destroy you, he's going to do it all out. He doesn't do this holding back shit or, I haven't transformed to this in, thousands of years. No, Cooler gets the motherfucking job done. If he wants you dead, you'll be dead. He does not stick around. And that's what I loved about him. Cooler didn't take any shit. He said, I want him dead. Bring me his body. Let's blow this place up. I've got 7 more to go. Let's do this.
Yeah, right. We have plans today. Yeah,
we have a schedule.
We have a schedule. We have a, we can't deviate off. We can't deviate from the schedule. But I would like to say though, before we have to go, sadly, teardrops.
No.
I know. I would like to mention that while I mentioned this earlier, I don't like the idea of, see, this has always happened. You just didn't know about it. With the whole Cooler being behind everything in a weird way. But I would like to say though that the realization that the bad guy could have actually done something to stop the good guy is always a good one. That's always a good thing.
I was about to say, I love. I can understand where you're coming from, but I love the fact that it comes full circle at the end.
Yes, full circle is amazing because I
let him go. I let him go. No.
All he had to do was just care about his brother. He's a shithead, but he was his brother. All he had to do was just push the button, and he would have killed Goku, the man who has done so much good and will continue to do good until they get tired of writing movies. But that'll never happen because money. And, of course, because Akira Toriyama does enjoy, working on Dragon Ball Z projects, clearly. But, it's just one of those things where it's just, wow, it's interesting. But before we go, we have, we do have a few minutes. Any other notes, any other little things you would like to throw out there that we could talk about? Anything funny, any random lines, anything?
Yeah, I definitely want to say I love how, Goku finishes him. Because it's not a spirit bomb. It's not, his own attack. No, he redirects Cooler's attack back at him. And it's funny because Cooler, or let me back up, he says, I am the most mighty in the universe, I decide who lives and who dies. And he transforms and he's, he says, so this is the Super Saiyan. You're too much. And he blasts him, and it does nothing to him. But, of course, Cooler wasn't aiming to destroy him with that. He's going to blow up the planet now. And he's like, sleeping on the job, Super Saiyan. I can gather energy a lot faster than my brother. You shouldn't have taken your eyes off me. And, even Goku for a second's like, oh, crap, I really did fuck that one up.
Yes, I really did blink. Damn.
And, Cooler's, even when Goku, blasts it back at him, Cooler's still weighing his options. He's like, no, I'm not dead yet. I've still got options here. I'm going to get off this thing, and when I do, I'm going to rip him to pieces. Oh, well, there's the sun. Well, maybe I could just blow that up and let them all freeze to death.
Yes,
oh, wait a minute.
All of a sudden,
I'm having my thoughts.
That was the best. That was the best line in the world. Just as if, oh, hello, look, it is the sun. That's pretty cool. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What?
That's pretty hot. Yeah, but yeah, it was a beautiful ending though. I feel as if and it's the first one that ever did that, so it's just it's happened in later films, but it was just the first one to do that, so it felt a bit more unique.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but so sadly we are ending. Please
I
like
could
us
talk
on
about these things for hours.
Yeah, he could. Please like us on Facebook, Those Guys on the Radio, if you're looking at the URL, or simply searching us, search up Those Guys. We, do a lot. I mean, currently, Tristan and I try to do a weekly Dragon Ball Z show on the movies. This weekend, Sunday, we're going to be doing Payback. Not Tristan, though. Myself and Satish Ram will be doing WWE Payback, the pay-per-view. Usually we do some wrestling stuff. Usually, we'll have Tristan on for anime. And, heck, we've even done Supernatural, How I Met Your Mother. Wide net, everyone. So definitely spread the links around. We'd love to get some more listeners. We'd love to get some more callers in the future. Definitely call in. I know it may seem a bit, strange. I know we're both talking and whatever, but please, we'd love to hear you guys talk, because, we can gush about the films for so long, but I'm sure if you think, wow, I had something different to say, call in and say it.
Yeah.
We don't bite. We physically can't. Even if we did bite, we physically can't. There's no way to actually bite you, even if we did. And that's that. Thank you for being on, Tristan. A bit upset that you couldn't see the Cooler movie. Neither could I, sadly.
Yeah.
But hey,
it's always
we'll probably
a pleasure being on here, Matt.
Of course, and next week we should be able to do the second Cooler movie, Cooler's Revenge. Not Cooler's Revenge, the Return of Cooler.
God damn it!
I always, because it makes more sense. But anyway, the Return of Cooler. Right?
Yeah.
Because which I understand why you aren't a big fan of, but I have to say there are some redeeming qualities.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it was a cool movie. It's just I love the first one better.
Of course. And if you want to hear us talk about this more, please definitely listen into this next week. If you want to know when it's going to happen, exactly when. Like us on Facebook. We will definitely update you there. We usually have daily updates on what shows that we're doing and when we're doing them, and et cetera, et cetera. So definitely like us on Facebook or email us at thoseguysontheradio. If you're on our Facebook, definitely post some show ideas. We'll definitely love to at least hear your ideas and see what we could do. We don't really do video games as much, but obviously we've done both Satish Rem and I have done a Pokemon show based on the new news of Omega and Sapphire, yes, the new remakes of Ruby and Sapphire. Oh yeah, most definitely. And and again, so thank you guys for listening in, and you were listening to Those Guys, and we will be signing out shortly, rather shortly, but not that shortly, but slightly shortly, but not that soon. But occasionally. Wait for it. We can do this all day.
Okay.
Here we are. Or not.
We're
Everybody.
continuing. No, we're not.
It's coming. It's coming.